أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Happy Saturday. Inshallah, we will continue on with the second station. We will be picking up from the third matter, necessitating divine unity. So this is the piece on divine unity. And we covered a few points last week as far as trying to understand how we can err or fall into misinterpretation about how we conclude events around us. So even taking a small particle, the smallest particle, it cannot come into existence on its own. Rather, it's given existence. So its existence points to something not of the nature of this universe. And similarly, if we were to look at every object or event that we come across, they all point to a necessarily existent one. So I think the whole point is for us to be more conscious of how are we looking at things. If at any point, if I conclude that just one particle, happens to be in existence on its own, then that would necessitate that everything else is also bringing its own self into existence. So the author was sort of walking us through in terms of, what it means to be associating partners with God, and pretty much, that's what was covered. If there's anyone who wants to share what was reflected on last week or anything that you've been pondering over, feel free to do that.
Oh, you want me to comment something? Okay.
Sure, yes, please.
So the thing is, first, this is the third way I think he's going to show, inshallah, that we're going to discuss. So the first was about looking at the qualities of things. Mm. The first matter, basically everything in the universe points to divine unity. That's a conclusion that one can arrive at, but the author is walking us through some deep reflections and going into the way he's examining the qualities and wondering, hey, where are these qualities of perfection coming from? That was like the first one. Everything that you see in existence comes with certain qualities in their existence, in their being. And the second, he started geeking out into how existence is happening. I'm saying that because he goes and looks into the matter from like, how is creation actually happening? Mm. How is something, like you said, a particle even, is coming into existence? Mm. So, and he explored, can it be from non-existence? Can it be, just coming from other things? And these are the things, and he explored and investigated and basically argued over that, hey, if something is non-existent, it cannot be. It's non-existence, absolute non-existence cannot give rise to or have any share in bringing something into existence. And he says the value that everything gets comes from the same absolute source. Whoever is bringing that thing into existence, because that thing that is coming into existence is the preference of the source of existence to bring it into being, like kun fayakun in the verse, that be and it is. It's his will, and that's it. It happens. It exists. And the other ideas of if something, can there be any other thing that can bring things into existence? He said if they had, there would be just a wasteful junk or meaningless junk. If the universe is emptied out, is as an example that he used in the last paragraph we studied, right? What meaningless junk was, that nothing in creation can give those qualities or bring anything into existence. So you can let them be, and they would be just there and wasted because they have no power, no quality, no will, no knowledge of anything. So what can you expect from? Either it's meaningful or it's junk, but the things are meaningful. So inshallah, I think we can start with the third matter.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Asim, for a thorough summary. It really refreshes the case better, and I'm still thinking on things right now. But let's move on with the third matter, and we can see, inshallah, what gets unfolded. So again, those of you who are joining us in, we are reading from the race, page 35. Again, page 35 of the race. The third matter, necessitating divine unity. Since, together with the extraordinary art in the creation of things, especially in living beings, a seed is a small sample of the fruit. A seed is a small sample of the fruit. A fruit is a miniature specimen of the tree. So a fruit is a miniature specimen of the tree. A tree is a summary index of the species. And the species is a concise map of the universe. And the species is a concise map of the universe. And in meaning is its seed. And each of these is a comprehensive point and a droplet gathered together and distilled from the universe according to the principles of knowledge and balances of wisdom. The one who created any one of them must be the one who created the whole universe. So the one who created the seed, the fruit, the tree, just the example the author is giving here. So the one who created any of this must be the one who created the whole universe. Yes, the one who creates the seed of a melon is self-evidently he who created the melon. Oh my God, it's just so hard to believe. I'm sorry. Wow. It is impossible and precluded that it should be anyone other than him. Wow. It's impossible and precluded that it should be anyone other than him.
It's a pretty dense paragraph.
It is. Shall we stop here? This paragraph, let's try to unpack what's being shared here. So let's see what's going on. I don't know. I'm just gonna start off a little bit with the last piece. It's it makes you in awe just to realize this. And Ali Murmur, go ahead. I see your hand is raised up.
Assalamu alaikum. Now we are reading the fourth volume of the series of the same author. That means the first volume heavily stressed on the necessity of the existence. So an existence of a creator, so that the universe is impossible to come into existence by itself and we cannot explain it. That matter has been established, and in the minds of the reader, and hopefully, inshallah, in our minds as well, it is established that really the universe must be created by a one, not by itself, something else. And therefore, we can conclude that there must be a creator. That is the stages we went through previous three volumes. Now, the subject here seems to be repeating, but it is not. This is, as we see the titles here, all necessitating divine unity. Divine unity, again, not the existence of the creator. Divine unity, again, absoluteness of the creator. Now it changed. Why? Now further stages are to be discovered in this matter, especially in the second ray. That means, yes, we understand there must be a creator, okay, but how can I relate my existence, myself, my concerns, my feelings, emotions, and maybe the worldly life, practical life, to that creator? That needs, necessarily needs, that I have to understand about this creator, how this creator, which kind of creator he is. I have to understand that so that I can relate to him. If we notice the examples, simple examples are given. We shouldn't just say it's a simple example. I don't think any of us says this at all, but it may come to one's mind that, oh, this man keeps talking about trees, talking about microscopic creatures, atoms, and universe in general. But in fact, what is going on here, trying to make the reader's mind to grasp, to understand, and maybe assimilate this understanding with his feelings, so that this creator is not a creator out there, has an independent existence from my life, although he created me, but I have no connection with him. So what it says is if two-way traffic. The two-way traffic means going, and that this weaving machines goes in one direction, comes back in the opposite direction, again back, but while this going and coming, I don't know the word for it. They have in the weaving, there is there's something that takes the string or whatever this is, the carpet is, or the material is, the fabric is woven. This goes and comes back, and it takes the string with him. What does it mean? He started saying that, and then the carpet is woven and ready at the end. So you will have a full picture of the creation, and you are a part, central part in it. So the creator is ever present, an omnipresent one. It means everywhere he is present at the same time. So you cannot really see that, or any distance between you and your creator. How? follows a very, very simple demonstration of reasoning. Look, we see the seed, and then the relationship between the seed and the seed is the simple sample of the fruit. Fruit is the simple sample of the tree. So tree is the simple sample of its own species, and this species is a sample of the whole universe, the whole order. You don't have to see the universe at the end. Order works in this way. So the orders, the work of order is so much interrelated, integrated within each other. You cannot take it out. For example, if one part of your car, the whole car doesn't work. When one part of the machine doesn't work, computer, for example, your whole computer doesn't work. Disconnected there. So it must be completed. So from there, it goes from the seed, goes to the universe. They are directly woven into each other, but not separately, not in a stage, following the stage. No, the seed includes the fruit. Seed is a sample of the fruit. Fruit is the sample of the tree. Tree is the sample of the universe. So it means within each other, and goes back meaning-wise. Universe, the meaning of the whole universe is the simple word, put together, all together, preserved there, preserved in the tree, if you like. And the meaning of the tree, we will speak about the meaning. Meaning of the tree is preserved in the fruit. The meaning of the fruit preserved in its tree. In fact, we can even go further. The meaning of the seed is preserved in its DNA. That means DNA represents the universe. Universe represented. The universe is represented within the DNA. This way of weaving, then at the end we will have although every knot is independently existing, independent means individual existence, dependent, but every knot is a knot, K-N-O-T. Maybe my pronunciation is difficult to understand, knot. So, but at the same time, even one knot, in order to have this knot there, you have to have the whole body of the carpet, so that the design must be perfectly shown. Although a knot represents only one point, one dot in the body of the carpet, example. But at the same time, whole carpet is there. The design of the carpet, like in hologram. In hologram, however they take this picture, every dot has the quality of whole body of the picture. The universe is like this. What does it mean? At the end, the paragraph said, so in order to, the one who created any one of them must be the one who created the whole universe. What does it mean now? First, in order to be able to create the universe at the same time, not in a gradual, step-by-step creation, but at the same time creating the whole universe in its entirety, necessitates that it must be the result of an absolute knowledge, absolute power of the qualities of the creator. It means if you say, that is why it is very, in the Muslim culture, if you like, tradition, when they talk about God, it is just cultural thing to express in this way. God is nowhere, but everywhere. It is, if you look at literally, it is contradiction. Nowhere, it means there is no God. But everywhere, oh, what does it mean everywhere? Is there any one God? One God. One God cannot be everywhere. This is the only way to understand divine unity. Absoluteness of the Creator, omnipresent with whole of his qualities here, everywhere, in every dot. You say, for example, take, now I'm looking at a carpet now in front of my eyes, now here on the floor. I say one point of the carpet cannot exist as a carpet without the rest of the carpet. So they are all one carpet. One carpet. If you look at all of them, this is one carpet. But at the same time, every dot makes the carpet, in my understanding. So that is why it looks like God is everywhere, but He's nowhere. It means you cannot locate the Creator, absolute being, in any part of saying that God, the Creator God, is creating the moon now, and then in the sun now, it is the daytime. So in the morning, God is going to create the moon in the at night. I'm sorry, I'm confusing. At night, He is going to create the moon. No, moon and sun, day and night, both are created at the same time. If you look at the world from the South Pole, it is the night. From the Japan, it is night. From America, it is day. But they both exist at the same time. So we should understand that we are talking about not the existence of God only, but necessity of the God who must be an absolute being and omnipresent. Present everywhere, with His actions, with His manifestations, demonstrating that I am with you. For example, when you see one hair, for example, on your body, you will say, oh, this is created by the Creator of the universe. It is being created, if you like, given existence now by the Creator of the universe. I can see the absolute Creator in the sample of my hair. That is how the universe is given existence. So to a certain extent, for the beginning, to understand that there must be a Creator is necessary. But if you stay there, you cannot really have anything to do with this Creator. So you cannot get the meaning of your existence as related to this Creator. Until you grasp that unity of divine unity, it means oneness of God, it means absoluteness of God, in the Quranic language, ahad of God, ahadiyya, they say, oneness, but that means absoluteness of God. You cannot see the presence of God in your existence. So what you do now, without realizing, you and I, what we do, without realizing God is the Creator who created the universe and me here. So I'm not saying I have an independent Creator, independent existence, but at the same time, I cannot relate to the Creator until I really understand that He he must be an absolute one because of the witnessing of the universe necessitates me to conclude not only the necessary existence of God, but absoluteness of God. It means it is difficult. If you try to imagine impossible, you are definitely going to fail. Why? We cannot imagine infinite. But by studying the text like this, it is a human logical conclusion to say that this creator must be present
I think Brother Lee is experiencing some connection issues.
condition. How about now?
Good now, thank you.
Okay. Sorry?
You're talking about human logic.
Human logic cannot grasp it because it's absolute, but universe witnesses it. So human logic comfortably can conclude that he must be absolute. Otherwise doesn't mean that you will become an unbeliever. No. You believe that there must be a creator. That is easy to conclude. But otherwise, you cannot relate your existence, your being right now to him. You can just say that he created me and I am growing here by myself. Am I the creator of myself? No. God created me in a way that I am growing. That is a very common it's like misunderstanding of God. And also there are some people speaking this way with authority as well, unfortunately. So we have to watch out. And with this understanding, I cannot get the taste of belief and the pleasure of belief in the creator in my life. That becomes only a logical conclusion. Yeah, there must be a God. Yeah, sure, I believe. Majority of the people of the world, not only Muslims in this case, believe God in this way, but they don't relate themselves. That is why they don't feel the need how to live my life with the consciousness of my belief that my existence is always dependent on this absolute creator and he is always with me. For example, the creator of the universe must be the one who created the DNA. But what we do now, especially in the field of science, DNA works by itself. Does it? Does it have the quality to work by itself? Some people say, no, DNA is created by God in this way. That is why it works by itself. They think that God is an engineer of a computer. Computer is made by an engineer and the computer is working by themselves, by itself. Is it wrong? No, it is not wrong. Computer and the engineer example only valid to say that this computer cannot exist by itself. That is, the computer, if you like, just an analogy, computer is created by the engineer. Engineer may be dead now. Possible? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, possible. So the universe is, no, it is continuously changing. Although, not on the other hand, on the other hand, computer is not continuously changing. It repeats functioning within the same order of the applications uploaded on it. That's it. It cannot neither go beyond nor less. It has to function in this way. And the engineer has nothing to do with the computer anymore. Although I concluded that computer has a creator, some atheists do not have any problem with this. Why? They say, yes, okay, I understand. Of course, they don't speak in this way. They speak like this. I understand that the universe must have an architect. It is a perfect architecture, order. Let's make it simple. The universe must have an engineer. Yeah, really. No, to be honest. But computer is working by itself. Universe is working by itself. So I have to do my job, my work in this world by myself. I don't want to be dependent on anybody else. I have my own consciousness. I have my own mind, feelings. I have to deal my life freely within my own capacity. Afterwards, what happens? I don't care. When I am giving this, I am giving this. I cannot stop it. Leave it to unknown matters. That's it. I don't know. That is why really believing in God is necessary, but definitely insufficient. Not at all. You cannot get satisfied at all believing with only believing in God. So we have to try to go through the journey of reflection to take us and be very much strongly convinced, definitely convinced, under a living evidence, if you like, not narrations. You know, in Islam we believe in God. He is powerful over everything. It's very common saying. The language used among the Muslims and Jews. The Christians don't have much problem about it. They are busy with Jesus. So that is something different. But more than billions of people believe in God in this way, but they don't feel they need religion. They don't feel so that if I am created, what is it to do now? What the existence of God is not related to me. What shall I do? What shall I do? I have to continue my life. And they have no connection with God. It means they have no religion. Religion means really living in this world with the consciousness that I belong to an absolute being. So everything must be with this performed within this consciousness that I am being created by the creator of the universe right now. He is the one who's creating me right now. So when I am choosing, making the decisions how to use my free will, I have to take into account of my creator. What did he want me to do here? Because I will make a decision to choose according to what? I am a created being. I belong to the creator. But as I belong to the creator, I cannot choose by myself. I can choose, but it is not appropriate for me to use my free will as I want. I have to bear in mind, I have a creator. He must have a purpose. How can I live like this? That is why the word religion is, if you like, majority of the people believe in God, but don't have religion. Now the Christians have religion. It's not religion. It's just a right or wrong, a kind of belief. That's it. Belief. There is a God. But you say this God has a son or not. None of my business. He may have a son. Okay. congratulations on a good birthday to his son. That's it, Christmas is past, finished. Do you understand? So there are some friends here, that's why I'm asking them, is it clear? But it's not religion. If one's life, if you like, is, how do you say, assimilated or submerged within this belief, so that the belief is like water infiltrating into the sponge. In my life, it means my belief in God is external to me. I mean, it is an honest conclusion. It's external God, external belief to me. It is not totally wrong, but since I don't benefit from it, what shall I do with it? It is just a rational claim and conclusion, right conclusion, but useless. Doesn't bring anything. While I'm using my computer, the engineer never ever comes to my mind. If you ask me directly, do you think the computer existed by itself? I say no. Well, how does then? Somebody must design it. Have you ever came to your mind that this designer has given you, provided you a good tool that you can benefit in many ways, to be thankful, to have some sort of appreciative and gracious relationship? Did it ever occur to you? No, but I paid for it. Do you see what I paid for it? The engineer didn't get anything. The company got it. Engineer just got a few things and it is gone. Money, it is gone. But company is making the money. So it means you have no emotional, sensual relationship with the engineer. I don't have any sensual relationship with the engineer of the computer here that I'm using. Well, frankly, it never occurred to me, unless you ask. I say, yeah, there is, but I have nothing to do with it. That is how the universe is really, the world, human race is, if you like, getting away with this belief matter. Because to deny the creator is really very hard and hurtful. It's really hurtful saying that meaningless word, and my existence also meaningless, come on. So we have to be careful. We are, just to pay, I wanted to share my feelings that this subject of divine unity, how much it is stressed on, and also given the perspectives from different perspectives, that I am becoming more and more convinced, at least refreshed. I shouldn't feel that we are just repeating. There is another perspective. There is a little bit different perspective, but at least reminds me and enlarges me my understanding of comprehensiveness or absoluteness of the creator, so that I can relate myself to him, my free will. The ultimate aim is simple, although it is not subject here, it is not the topic of the paragraph, is how can I relate my free will to the will, the purpose of my creator? Practical life. That is what religion is all about. Practical. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for sharing your thought-provoking reflections. Yeah, it may seem repetition, but hey, we need it. We need these constant reminders, otherwise we become stale. And this whole piece about divine unity definitely brings our gaze towards what does it mean when I conclude something to be a necessarily existent one. How can this conclusion help me with my day-to-day? Because we are social animals, we may say, because everything is done practically. All our experiences are very practical. And there are so many feelings, emotions involved, where the more I think a person progress in their life journey with all the experiences one accumulates, and you try to make sense of them, then if I'm just concluding a necessarily existent one, and that one that I'm concluding, if it's distant from my being, my day-to-day that I'm going through, then really what's the point? I might as well, jump off the Hudson River. Yes, there must be a necessarily existent one. The universe seems meaningful, but maybe 40, 50 more years and then I'll die, perish away. So I might as well, what is all this for? But I think really looking more deeper into how everything connects us to this divine unity aspect or interconnectedness aspect of things. And really, what does absolute means? Absolute means that it's ever present, right here and now, like something that's comprehensive. So the melon tree that is bearing melons in Chile, I don't know if they grow melons over there, they do. It's the same, points to the same creator that's growing melon trees or melons growing up in
Georgia.
Let's go to Georgia today. Yes, it's been a while. So pretty much all of these things that we come across, whatever we conclude, it's or whatever we conclude to be absolute, it's ever present. Like you said, Ali Murmur, it's omnipresent, it's comprehensive, it's acting right now, and it's really upon my free will whether I decide to ponder more over what does my creation points to. Yes, if I'm a laptop, I must have an engineer. And now the engineer is absent because there's so many processes going on within me. And I think it's just a matter of also recognizing the different qualities that we are made to interact, how everything is so meshed in. I cannot separate one atom from the rest of the universe. And the author clearly points it out here. I cannot separate a seed, a melon seed, from the whole universe. Just mesmerizing, at least. And so I can bring in the case to myself in terms of, again, how do I affirm divine unity within myself? How do I bring this absoluteness, or whatever I conclude to be absolute, how do I make it acquainted with my human side, pretty much? Yeah. Thank you. I know this is just not a mouthful was said, but like a stomach full was said. I don't know even know if that's an expression, but that was just really some brief highlights on my end. But let's see if anyone else want to share any of their excitements with this, or if you want to make any comments or even a question. So feel free to raise your hand. Sarah, go ahead.
I was just going to share that what Brother Ali shared with the absoluteness and the link of that to Ahad. It just struck me a particular way, maybe because I was cutting a pumpkin, as you guys spoke about seeds, trees, and the fruits. And there was just something that clicked about the word absolute with Ahad, because we know that the Quran is really emphasizing this quality, so much so that the whole Quran is said to be, well, this chapter of Ahad is said to be a third of the Quran. So it's like a huge quality that's necessary for our attention, that's extremely emphasized. And as Brother Ali shared, what was said, that you can find this quality in a hair strand. You can find it in everything, from a hair strand to a fruit to anything that you're looking at or interacting with. It seems like such a relief if we can find this absoluteness quality, because it immediately, I just felt released from the horizontal dimension, almost like released from the burdens of the mundane world into an immediate vertical, into this infinite, inexplicable, unfathomable living power or force that's acting here and now. It just seemed like such a huge deal. And I mean, I've heard this before, but it never really clicked like now, maybe because I have a need to be released from the horizontal so much more. Okay. I love the concept of absoluteness, just being. It seems simple. It's just reflecting on something and knowing that there's no way that it can exist at all, except by it having to have been made by a one who has to own every single thing, has to know every single thing about the whole universe. And maybe we've said these words before in a knowledge form, but to feel the truth of that in a hair strand or a human being or a seed or a fruit, it just immediately connects you to this vertical, maybe like this dimension of true existence that lifts you sort of out of the mundane. So I was just very appreciative of that connection between absolute, which just means beyond, right? Like beyond the universe. And I don't think that I made that connection with Ahad, but it makes sense now that every single thing points to Ahad, because every single thing points to the inexplicability of how it exists. So there must be a single inexplicable force of power and existence that is the source. And that just, I literally, like a vertical line gets drawn out of whatever it is that we're experiencing, and it just feels like a relief, like a sigh of relief to feel that.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing this connection about how we can see absoluteness and divine unity hand in hand, pretty much. It's really, one has to make that connection while interacting with anything. And let's see if any other comments from anyone. Okay. I think we can pretty much proceed with the next paragraph. So, yes, we look and see that all the atoms in blood are so orderly and perform so many duties that they are not inferior to the stars. Interesting. All the red and white corpuscles in blood work with such a degree of consciousness in protecting and feeding the body that they are more efficient than the best commissaries or bodyguards. All the cells of the body manifest such orderly processes and incomings and outgoings that their administration is more perfect than the best run body or palace. All the cells of the body manifest such orderly processes and incomings and outgoings that their administration is more perfect than the best run body or palace. All plants and animals bear such a seal on their faces and such machines in their chests that only one who created all of them could situate those seals and machines in their places. All plants and animals bear such a seal on their faces and such machines in their chests that only one who created all of them could situate those seals and machines in their places. And all the species of living beings have spread over the face of the earth in such orderly fashion and have intermingled with the other species having mutual relations with them, that one could not simultaneously create, administer,
Who could not?
regulate, and raise all those species, and not place that veil on the face of the earth, and not weave that most ornate, artistic, living tapestry with its warp and weft.
That's the word he was looking for.
Of the 100,000 plant and animal species. One that could not do all these could not create and administer a single species. One that could not do all these could not create and administer a single species. If analogies are made with these for other things, it will be understood that in respect of creation and bringing into existence, the universe is a whole that may not be split up into parts. And in respect of dominicality and management, is a universal whose division is impossible. This third necessitating factor has been explained and proved decisively and brilliantly in many of the treatises of the illuminating lamp, and especially in the first stopping place of the 32nd word, demonstrating that like reflections of the sun, a proof of unity, and its affirmation is reflected and represented in everything's mirror. Making do with those explanations, we are cutting here a long story short. Okay, so this second paragraph, again, is drawing our gaze to the administration, regulation, simultaneous creation, just like we mentioned early on. Its existence, creation is happening all at once. It's mind-boggling, actually, to be really just ponder over this. And so all these qualities that we see, if we were to ponder over how everything is happening at the same time with perfect ease. I may be in a specific geographical location, but I may have friends in different parts of the world, and everything is just being constantly regulated and administered. And so it's only through these analogies, or even reflecting over such qualities happening all at once, that we can go on concluding or affirm divine unity, just like the author is presenting the case. And wow, it's if we think about it, it's just the whole point about existence happening at once. Like from my end, I may experience, I see perhaps a tree, then melon, I cut the melon and then I see the seed, but it's everything is brought into existence right here and now. I'll just stop for now, and just to see if anyone has any highlights that they want to point out from the second paragraph. Feel free to chime in, share what's coming to you. So inshallah, it may help all of us. And yeah, I think it's pretty much just pinpointing on like I cannot separate one action. I cannot study it independently from the rest of the universe. So even act of creation, I may observe act of creations, but it's just all happening at once. Still trying to gather my thoughts, so I'll be just perhaps murmuring, but anyone, if you have anything to share here, that would be great. Anything that strike your attention? If not, then I guess we can move on to, okay, creation. So yeah, the whole point is, he's mentioning it here in respect to of creation and bringing into existence the universe as a whole that may not be split up. And I think we can apply the case to any situation. Чи difficult? Simple. All right. If there are no more hands, Ali Murmur, go ahead.
So since no one joined, so the second paragraph actually concludes with this a slightly different concept, with a universal whose division is impossible. Now, it is another aspect of understanding. It is another aspect of understanding absoluteness of the Creator. Now, as I noticed that under each subtitle, author consciously adds a slightly different aspect of the same notion again. Divine unity, it is translated here, Hadiyya. The original language is Tawheed. The same thing, the same root word. But this divine unity, of course, we keep saying absoluteness. Yes, absoluteness is a very important concept, but it has many other aspects as well. For example, absoluteness in existence, and also absoluteness in his existence with the quality that it is impossible to have divisions. It means it is a whole. It cannot be divided. It cannot be put into sections. But at the same time, it is absolute in every quality that you can attribute to him. What does it mean? Yeah, it is so much integrated into each other. For example, creatorship, giving existence to, is absolute. But giving existence to the things, to whatever we see here, and also giving existence through the manifestation of an absolute power. Through, again, the manifestation of an absolute wisdom, absolute orderliness, absolute measurement, absolute perfection, absolute purposefulness, absolute mercy, absolute justice. So we understand that all qualities are absolute, but they are not, they cannot be divided from each other, because you can read it in this way. It is a very interesting way of learning how the Tawhid must be understood. Actually, the author also accepts and admits this, admits that he has learned it from Imam Ali's teaching, that in his teaching is like this: he is absolute in his creatorship, and he is a creatorship in his power. He is absolute in his power. He is absolute. His power is absolute. My translation is terrible. His power is absolute as it manifests in his wisdom. His wisdom is absolute as it is manifested in his manifestation of power. So his power, his manifestation of power is absolute in his absolute knowledge. Absolute knowledge on the other side. Absolute knowledge must be manifested in his absolute wisdom. So without wisdom, without knowledge, without power, without creatorship, khaliqiyya, you cannot talk about his being absolutely wise. So within each other, that's why you cannot divide this being. It means another important aspect of understanding the absoluteness. Yes, absoluteness has no limit, no limitation. We cannot imagine, etc. But also has endless qualities that this absoluteness has, and all endless qualities manifest within each other. It is unimaginable. It is unimaginable. Yeah, you see that he is. There is wisdom here, but this wisdom manifesting itself is with absolute power. If the power wasn't absolute, wisdom cannot manifest itself at the same time everywhere. As the text itself says, you can see the absolute in blood corpuscles. At the same time, you can see it absoluteness manifesting the power, absolute power. At the same time, with the same quality, manifesting itself is a solar system or in the existence of a galaxy. At the same time, with the same quality, absolute power, absolute power. There is no difference between being able to create an cell of the body without having absolute power, without having absolute knowledge, wisdom, etc. But at the same time, you can easily say, if you don't have the absolute power, you cannot create the universe. So you can say the existence of a cell needs such qualities as the existence of the universe needs it. There is no quality. Quality-wise, the difference, because you cannot say in order to have an in order to be able to create the universe, you have an huge absolute power, for example, but in order to be able to create an atom, not that huge. But the universe doesn't witness that. So absoluteness is such a concept that every quality we see in the universe must be coming from the absolute source of this quality, and all of them are mutually integrated with each other, as the text says here, simultaneously, intermingled, simultaneously acts. It is very interesting that the simultaneous act, each power exists, this power, not each power, sorry, my language, you know my language. So this power simultaneously acts with the same quality in the existence of a cell, in the existence of a galaxy. No difference. So you say, well, I cannot imagine it. I cannot liken it to anything. There's no such thing in the universe. But the quality manifests itself. So you see, another, even under the same subtitle, slightly different aspect of absoluteness is presented to us. Slightly different. That's how we should really reconfirm our understanding of my God, if you like, my owner, so that I will feel more relaxed, confident, comfortable with being with him in my own life. He's my owner everywhere, in every aspect of my life. He is my owner. I am his product. I belong to him. So for this understanding, there's no room for loneliness, no room for boredom. How do you say word? Boredom. No room, no stress. Why? My existence belongs to him. He is creating everything. He is doing everything for me. Whatever the situation I like or I don't like, I have to do my job, but is in order to acknowledge his presence in my life. Not, I'm going to do this and guarantee the future. I mean, if you have this understanding, you say, I'm going to do this and guarantee the future. No, I am going to do this while I'm doing this, choosing or practicing my free will. I am asking my Creator to create the result as I expect. I cannot. I trust him. That's it. Whatever comes, his choice. Whatever is created, his choice. My choice is in the form of presenting a petition, prayer. Yeah, that's what I need. But I trust your wisdom more than mine. That's why the Quran keeps saying that the believers must trust in God, this absolute being. Why? Belief necessitates it. If you really believe that you have a creator, it is the necessary conclusion of it. So it means you cannot guarantee anything. Of course you can't. You cannot create anything. You are every side, every aspect of your existence is just according to his will. How can you say that I am going to do this, I am going to guarantee this? No, just in the form of presenting your need to him. That's so sweet, beautiful and sweet. I asked God, but he preferred other way around. Actually, that is the word of the prophet saying, I expected this way, but God decided that way. It means even the prophet is in the position to present his desire, not guaranteeing and submitting his free will to his choice, God's choice, Creator's choice. And then saying, definitely, my wisdom is nothing compared to the absolute wisdom. So you understand the comfort a human spirit feels in belief in the absoluteness of his, integral absoluteness of his will, omnipresence, as the word used here, simultaneously manifesting the absoluteness in everything, at every time, at every level, not only one, at every level. One is at the level of a cell, the other one is at the level of a mountain, the other one is, I don't know, atmosphere, a moon, and you go to the universe. The same quality is necessary. That feels the real security for one's existence, and you make your life meaningful. Otherwise, you have some, I have, not you, not you. I have some objects for my life. And I'm going to work hard, save this money, and have this, and satisfy my expectations. Okay, this is my wishful thinking. I cannot guarantee anything, but I can seek after this aim as far as the conditions that are created for me allows me to choose, but at the same time, I will always follow the permission of the order, if you like, to choose this way or this way, because I'm giving this option in my creator, in my creation, by my creator. I'm giving the option in this way. I am using my option, but I am putting my trust in God's wisdom. Whatever he creates, it is from my honor. It is from my creator. It must be the best for me. For example, if it is not accomplished, my expectation, it must be best for me. If you are patient enough, wait for a while, maybe 1 year, maybe 10 years, at the end you will say, oh, Alhamdulillah, 10 years ago, I lost my job and I was so disappointed. Alhamdulillah, thank God that I have lost that job. You will realize it, but it needs patience. That's why Quran uses maybe more than 100 times, no, definitely more than 100 times. فَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Give good tidings for the patient people or perseverant people. Why? They will say, oh, my expectations didn't come to true. They were disappointed. No, they were not. They said, okay, the result is created, the all-knowing one, all-merciful one, all-wise one, all-just one. And also, my Lord, it means educates me. Oh, that was excellent that I went through. For example, I give this example always as if I am proud of this. I come from a zero economical value of the family life, zero, day by day. We were fine with eating bread with flour soup and cracked wheat. All of them are the same, actually. Perfect, nice. Okay, all right. I am so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this. Why? I don't know. I may be neglectful. That's something else. Ideally, I should be. Let's call it in this way. I should be so grateful for every single, for example, I well remember even the box. I remember my father brought the first time olive oil, or olives, not olive oil, olives to the house. As if we became very rich, we are eating olive with the tea, like those rich people are eating. We are rich now, just olive, without no cheese next to it. How can you not appreciate now what we have in our breakfast or dinner? How can you, coming from this background, impossible to forget the value of what you are given now. So I am very thankful, alhamdulillah, to my creator. Assalamu alaikum. I got a little bit emotional now. How beautiful the trust in God is, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't work. Don't exaggerate. Don't go from one extreme to another. No. You have to try your best, but you have to be 100% convinced that I would say, no, satisfied, consented, satisfied. Is it right word of speaking? Content. That's the word. Thank you. 100% content with what is created. But this may be most probably the case against your expectation. That is training. And you will understand, oh, it was good for me. But it needs 70 years to come to this conclusion. Sabr. Yeah. Perseverance. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for sharing your reflections, very human reflections. There is, I think, a lot that everyone can connect with in terms of what we experience. And yeah, I think it's just a matter of recognizing how every moment is brought into existence, and then the one that's bringing it into existence and presenting it to me is the same one that's presenting it to the whole universe and whatever I may be experiencing. Just looking for the wisdom, not only from my side, but also knowing if I conclude something to be absolute, then the absolute one must be the all wise one, must know exactly what I need in my training here, so I can proceed with the journey in a I would say in a content way, because once I know that I'm being trained, then there is this sense of contentment that I'm not just haphazardly, randomly hopping in from station A to station B and station C. God knows again, I experienced station B. No, it's not of my doing, but that's definitely a deliberate setup. And even, yeah, I was reflecting on people we come across in our lives. Some of you may be young, and yeah, I would always think in terms of there definitely must be a divine plan, because it's a human need. We are all looking for contentment and some may say inner peace in our existence, and usually our experiences are also a way to train us, and even people we come across is also they sort of mirror human needs and human expectations as well. So alhamdulillah, thanks again for sharing that. And Hatice Beisa, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for all the comments so far. You know, it got me thinking about something. I'm going to backtrack a little bit, but some thoughts that came to me as I was listening, and what's been read so far, and the parallel that's been highlighted between the first and the second paragraphs we read. It reminded me of another topic that we had covered, which is related to this at another time, where, you know, or just as in the text that we read today, just as a seed necessitates the tree, which looks to the fruit, we had discussed how the knowledge of each seed going both into the past as well as the future is necessary for the existence of the seed that I might experience right now, as far as the source of that, the source of existence of that seed is concerned. And that is just within the seed itself, right? So just as these different aspects or these different stages of the life of the seed look to one another, and both in terms of like stages in its life, but both also in terms of time, just as they look to one another, each quality that is manifest in the universe requires and necessitates one another in an absolute manner. Because I can't claim that something is absolutely just without absolute mercy. And I think other times we've given the example of, or something similar to, you know, if I don't wake up a kid to school because I feel merciful and I just want them to sleep, there's a lack of justice there. So for something to be absolutely just necessitates by definition that it must be also absolutely merciful. And then practically speaking, when we also again look at the way that the universe is run, or rather the way in which like humans practically run in the world, or maybe like a president, or maybe a way a company is run with many compartments, while each compartment of that company, for example, might have someone who's running it, there's still someone who's overseeing everything. But even this example itself is insufficient in the sense that let's say the CEO of a company doesn't know the ins and outs and all the details of, you know, a particular part of one compartment that, you know, that they might still be overseeing. They just kind of have like a bird's view of what's going on. However, when I look at the universe, I can literally, you know, in a way zoom in and zoom out infinitely. You know, it's only as far as how much the human being has been able to discover the order of the universe where we've been able to zoom in and out to a certain degree. But no one can really necessarily claim that that's the end, that we can't go any further than that. And so just as, you know, the relationship, again, just to wrap up my thoughts, the relationship maybe that an atom shares to a cell, which shares with my hand, or with my hand, and then that shares with my arm, and that shares with my body, just on like a physical aspect. It just the relationships within the compartments of a body look to one another in infinite ways, in terms of proportion, in terms of wisdom. You know, there's a bunch of, like, if they know the length of like your finger or something, they can pretty much calculate the length of all the other limbs of your body. Like, there's just infinite amounts of ways that there are so many different patterns and relationships just within the body itself. And that's just like in that moment. And then when you think about like your body in terms of when you were born to when you die, there's so like the source of existence must necessarily know the knowledge of all those proportions at all those points in time. So basically, when I compare that to the company example, it's just everything just there's just infinite. And it just everything extends to infinity in terms of just how many patterns or proportions or aspects that look to wisdom, or I don't know, like all of these components just like stretch to infinity, so that the source must necessarily be an absolute one. Otherwise, there can be no two absolutes, you know. So those are just my takeaways. Thank you.
Thank you, Hatice Beyza, for sharing your comments. I know we are at time, and just checking in to see if there are any final comments from anyone. While I'm also checking in where we are going to proceed next Saturday. So we're starting the third station, inshallah, next Saturday.
Inshallah.
So yeah, that's about it. Sarah, go ahead.
Sorry, I couldn't be as attentively engaged with the text, but what did strike my attention with what was shared was every quality must also be absolute. So we have this, I'm walking away from this halakha with this reminder to be attentive towards how the universe, from a micro level of the things I'm interacting with, the seemingly small things to small humans, to creatures and creations outside, to what seems static or insignificant, like a hair strand, all indicate to me ahad, this absoluteness of a being that is making everything exist every single moment brand new and every single day brand new, and that this quality is surrounding me. But then also every quality that I need or that I adore or that I admire is also indicative and must be absolute. So like this concept of beauty or sweetness or kindness that I might see in an instant, the instant of it actually doesn't satisfy me at all. Like a sweet moment doesn't, I know it will very soon end and follow up with a tantrum or something.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm not sure if you're done with your comment. You got muted.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry. But I was just saying that even a moment of sweetness or what might seem like a sweet moment ends so soon that it doesn't actually satisfy me at all. Sheko, you have to wait. C'est chaud. However, if I can use today's halakha as training to see that this quality comes from a place and it must be absolute, then it does actually satisfy me, because it draws a vertical into something that's unending and beyond, which is what every human being deeply starves for. And the word, I'm sorry to end with, but the word that struck me was tapestry. I believe that was somewhere in the reading, even though I wasn't able to be as attentive as I would have liked. And it reminded me of what Dr. Ali shared, like, if every single quality that exists around me, so I see a tree, I see intelligence, I see, okay, just sit here for a second, must be absolute, then there's this presence now, like a tapestry that's everywhere and it's weaved together, which it's like the word tapestry. Okay, but you can't sit there without mama, you have to wait. Indicates this I just think the word tapestry sort of points to, you know, like we see a tree, we see a small human, we see food. We don't see omnipotent creator, but we do see like a tree, we see a small human, we see hair, we see words, we see ears, you know. I think all together, if we can start to pull in this concept of ahad, then all of the qualities will start to be weaved. No, shut up. All the qualities will be weaved together like a tapestry, and then we'll begin to see how there's this omnipotent being that surrounds us truly, and that's the only way to get a true comfort. Thank you all. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you, Shakur, for a beautiful conclusion. Oh, this was nice for sharing the tapestry example in terms of how all the qualities are interwoven, and really which perfectly highlights this divine unity that we've been discussing. Alhamdulillah, thank you for sharing, everyone, your comments, and really for joining us in beautiful discussion. Alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alim al-hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you are all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة